for me, my tech journey started with a podcast, and listening to podcasts first, and then starting my own podcast. And the reason that I fell in love with tech is, for me, it was financial independence, so it paid well. But secondly, it created time freedom. Prior to that, I was working factory jobs and working an hourly rate, so I'm trading my time for money. And I was working a ton of hours and not getting that family time and everything else. And so for me, getting into tech was an opportunity to create more freedom in my life, to spend with my family, and still have that same financial means that I had in the factory. So, what about you?
Yeah, so when I was about 6 years old, I decided that I wanted to be a teacher. And that I really never thought, considered, had any other idea besides I wanted to be an elementary teacher. I graduated, got my bachelor's in teaching, got my first teaching job 3 days after. I just kind of always had my path laid out for me. But kind of as I got into teaching, one of my favorite parts about teaching is foundational teaching. And over the last 15 years of teaching, it's everyone knows over the last 15 years, tech has really just taken off. And so I like the aspect of foundational tech as well as foundational, really any kind of learning. But also, I work inner city Toledo. And I've watched some really, 15 years, a lot of things have happened to my students. I've had students go to prison. I've had students get shot. I've had students do really well in life as well. And I'm kind of tired of the generational stuff that's happening here in Toledo. So part of what I wanted to do, like, to get it, like how I got into tech, was I want to create a different path for people who aren't college bound. What are other things that they can do? What are other paths that can be taken? And kind of has led me into ed tech. So I get to keep my passion of education and kind of marry it with the tech community.
Yeah, I think that's like where we kind of come together well, is that I was that factory worker thinking that I had the top job in the city.
Yeah.
I worked for General Motors. I'm in that. That's the out of the union jobs that you can get, that's the good one. And
That's what I feel like a lot of people around here, that's what they aspire. They're like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. That's where I'm going to be.
yeah, if I can get in there, then everything will be okay.
And that's what it feels like the high opportunities are. And I just feel like I want to create a space for a different opportunity. And, we can't do everything.
Well, for me at the factory, what happened was, I'm at work all the time, and I had financial resource, but I'm at work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not home, I'm not engaged with my family, or even out in the community. Right? Like, I'm back and forth from work to home, sleeping to work. And so in tech, not only was I able to create the time freedom, but I was able to be engaged with my family, create that financial opportunity. And in that, like, as we can bring more of that to our broader community, we start addressing that mental health problem. We start putting families back together, instead of, right where I was at, working in the factory led to a divorce, right? So, and then, which brought us together. So, it all happened for a reason. But the point being is that this, for me, showed me another opportunity. And so my whole goal has been, how can I shepherd other people towards this opportunity?
Right.
And, like, yes, to your point, breaking those generational scarcity problems, because that financial scarcity is what leads to mental health, drug addiction, all of these other issues in our society that we're having issues with. We talk about gun violence in the city. All of those stem from lack of family structure at home, right? Like,
or resources.
Mm-hmm. And that comes from a lack of resources.
Mm-hmm.
If mom and dad aren't home because they got to go out to earn, and the kids are kind of left to run wild, and maybe grandma's back home and watching the kids, but grandma's got limited capacities, right? And so that's what we run into. And so, to me, tech was the ability to not just be like, oh, a couple people got better jobs. No, this changed this person's entire income, gave them time freedom, all of these things, so that they could influence their community.
Yeah, it changes the trajectory of their life too. And I mean, reality is, you can get into tech with a couple certifications. It doesn't, and then, I mean, eventually, if you want to go and get a degree or, choose higher opportunities within tech, that is an option. But even, starter level tech jobs are like mid level factory jobs. So just starting off at 18, 19 years old, you can be doing better than your parents. And I think, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with factory working, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong, with people who choose those opportunities. My my main point is that I just want to create opportunities for people to have a choice, because I know a lot of people don't feel like they have much of a choice, and that this is their destiny and this is what their choice is. And I'm basing that off of what kids have told me here in Toledo. And I just want to create that opportunity here at the Toledo Tech Loft. Really, we're just an environment. We're really just a space. And we're just two people who have an idea. And
they're crazy enough to go for it.
Yeah.
To like see what we can create.
Yeah. And the thing is, in collaboration, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to do what? And then how can we champion that and be a support to that? So when we think about, the Toledo Tech Loft, education is a big component to that, because you can't necessarily get the job without an introduction to the industry and to what's possible.
Well, and
finding your niche.
Where we are in Toledo, right? Like where we are in tech in Toledo, we have upskilling to do. It's not like we're a bustling tech community. And so we have to start somewhere. And education is a great place to start. It's a great place to, create those foundational skills. When you have, we have a friend and he's in his 50s and he doesn't quite know how to use, copy and paste and basic, Word applications. And you want to get into tech, you need to have those foundational skills. Where I feel like the kids nowadays know most of those things, and so I want to keep building it up, because the future is rapidly approaching and tech is moving a lot faster than what we're even ready for. So,
yeah, and I love where it's going too, right? So if we look at the different avenues. So for me, I got into marketing. In marketing, like my strength isn't writing code, but it's okay, I have this idea of how I want to present to this product or idea to somebody, and I know that it's possible through the different tech options that are available to me, right? Like when I got started in my career, I talk about this all the time, but we started taking your weather centers give off weather data. And we used to use that data to help drive what products were sold to our customers based on the weather. And I just thought that was such a cool use of technology, not because it's like, oh, we're selling more product. I mean, yeah, that's a good thing, but like we're literally able to provide a product that you're in need of in the moment. And so we're able to solve bigger problems faster using tech. And so to me, it was like, oh, this is cool. And when I see the writing on the wall, my family, has a background in robotics. That's manufacturing, but it's automated manufacturing. And that's going to change everything as in this area. We are a manufacturing city. Like that's all going to change drastically as more and more advancements come with automation. So if we're not writing the code for that automation and those jobs are gone and turned into robotic, situations, like we're going to be really hurting as a community. So I want to think ahead, and I don't think we're thinking too far ahead. I think we're still a little behind as a community. So there's a lot of work that still gets to be done, and I'm really excited to take it on because of the community that we've already created in the year and few months that we've been open. Yeah. So really the goal for 2026, provide those pathways for education, but also community. So it's like, not only can you see yourself in that role, you're also connected with a group of people that are also in that community space. So this is our adopted child here, Ginny, but
she's our work dog.
Yeah. So what's something that people misunderstand about my role in the area of tech? Well, I think that's like my background is marketing. And so I'm here to champion other people's things more than build my own thing. Like I see my role as a connector and as that cheerleader. So that's what I really look to do is focus on, cheerleading other people's work, making those connections. I'm hosting events and doing those things, not because it, pays me, but because that's what makes everything else work. And so, I mean, my role is not necessarily as the coder themselves. Like, I'm not going to sit there and write code, those things, and make the connections, because that's really where I fit best. And my whole thing is like, I want to do what fits me best, where I'm in excellence, and then allow other people to be in their excellence in the roles that they perform.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's just like, I think because it has tech in the name, I think there's a little misunderstanding with that as well. Like, I think, we wanted to create a space where tech can grow. And that's why we put it in our name. And I think really this is a space for community in all avenues, right? Like in reality, our role here as the Toledo Tech Loft is that we're really just a space, an environment for things to be created. Our vision is for collaboration, community, and innovation. And, we're just two people. We can't do it all ourselves. So, and we realize that, for years we've been, trucking away, trying to make the difference. And we're like, well, we really just can't do this all by ourselves. And so that's what kind of brought us here. And so,
yeah, it takes a team.
Yeah.
To your point, it takes a team. And so my thing is, I had always worked with teams remotely. When I got into tech, I was working remotely back in 2010. So this is like an opportunity to say, hey, how do we build locally? Yeah. I mean, I can have a team remotely, but what am I building in my local community? And that's where this kind of came
about. And really, I just want to be clear, that the Toledo Tech Loft is it's just a space. It's a environment for things to happen. We have offices and conference rooms and meeting spaces, and but what sets us apart from just being a space is our drive and our sense of community that we want to create. When we host classes or people rent, like we kind of look through as to what is heading towards our vision, what's heading towards the growth of Toledo, what's heading towards creating those opportunities that we want to see here. So I just want to be clear that is our role at the Toledo Tech Loft. And it's not just for tech, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for anyone
film.
We have film people here. Yeah, we have tons of photographers, we have podcasters, just all different types of people that come here. But in reality, nowadays, everything is tech.
Yeah,
So
it blends into.
You can't really do. It's hard to. There's only a few people I know that. Some of my family is still a little dinosaur-y with their tech, but my brother still has his flip phone. But I think in reality, like most of the things that we do nowadays is tech. I do want to talk about what a good work day would look like, though. I find this kind of really important. So as I mentioned before, I am a teacher. So like a good work day, like overall, would be like I go to work, lesson plans go right, students are getting it, everything's clicking, everything goes smooth. But then you end the day and you come to the Toledo Tech Loft and community is just happening. You see people are collaborating, there's meetings happening, there's workshops happening in the classrooms, the offices are filled, and we've had quite a few days that are like that. And you just go home at night and just like, we're doing it. We're just doing it, and it's our dreams are being fulfilled. And let's be clear, every day is like that, and but that is really the goal, right? That is what we hold on to for the hard days, the not so good days. But
well, like for me, when I see several of our friends like that are part of the community upskill themselves,
oh yeah,
roll out a new product or concept and start working on it, or launching a podcast and then having and getting all the learning that they get from that. Like, I'll just call it out, like Mike Vanderpool with the Make It Happen podcast. Like, he came into the space, started doing it, and it's been evolving. He's been trying to find his way with it, knowing that he wants what he wants to do, but like seeing the growth in him and like the impact that he's making in the community, the different people that he's starting to bring into the space, just that activity. And then I don't feel like I have to do it all. Right? It's like it's not just me. It's me. I create the foundation initially, right? Working with Dave Ball, got the foundation set so that other people can come and do these things. And then you see those spark off into these other things. Now you got that Toledo Codes group that's out there and doing things. And
We've had a lot of people get promotions. We've had a lot of people who have gotten different jobs that they would have never even considered due to the networking and just being in the space. I feel like it's kind of like magic. They're like, oh, I'm kind of looking for a new job. And we're like, well, just come hang out, just come just be in our space. And like, we'll work with you, see what we can do. And then it's like a couple weeks later, they're like, oh, I got a new job and, I get paid way more money. And I'm not saying that that's always going to happen or like, we're some magical space or anything, but it's just interesting when you put things out and go to a space of community and network and what the opportunities can create for you.
Well, I think it also, to that point, it's being here in the space, and this is what has led to some of these people's their opportunities is as a group we come up with an idea, oh, let's do this project, and it's like, yeah, let's work on this project, and then that person shows up like a boss in that project and just owns it, and everyone's like, whoa, look at what so and so did with that project, that was freaking awesome. And then it's like, well, I want to learn more about that person. I'm curious more about what they do. So like our big thing this year is we're going to have a group of series come out. And so you'll have talks, you'll have ways or events happen that bring the community together. But
on specific topics.
On specific topics. But the idea is that leads to some sort of an activity, some sort of project. So for example, with the cybersecurity, I'll just mention that. We're launching a cybersecurity series. So there's going to be talks and things happening that bring the community together. But at the end of the series, what the series culminates to, right, is a big Capture the Flag event. And what I love about this Capture the Flag event is it's kind of a two-tiered perspective. So you've got one group that's going to come in. They're interested in cybersecurity. They're curious. A Capture the Flag event is an opportunity. It's like a game of cybersecurity. So it gives them an opportunity to come and play and learn a little bit more about the industry. So that's going to be one opportunity that's available with that Capture the Flag event. But secondly, you have all of the master practitioners coming to hone and sharpen their skills. This Capture the Flag event gives continuing education credits, which you need in that industry. And so it's key for professionals, practitioners. And so we'll be bringing in some of the top practitioners in the region, which is awesome because you see these Fortune 500 companies here in the loft and going to be here practicing that Capture the Flag. But then we're also going to have that educational group here. Yeah. And so now you're going to have this mingling happening between the two groups. You got questions, they've got answers, you know? And as the community gets to know each other, as those wanting to learn, get introduced to those professional practitioners, now there's an opportunity to share knowledge, right? There's an opportunity for introduction, networking, and more potential. I mean,
well, and what's cool about the Toledo Tech Loft is we are not experts in cybersecurity,
no.
And we're not even going to pretend to be experts. But the cool thing about the Toledo Tech Loft is we know people who are, and through creating this, and honestly, 2 years ago, I don't know if I knew anybody in cybersecurity. So creating this space like the Toledo Tech Loft, we have attracted people who are experts in the field or have connections to people who are experts in the field who can be brought in to support and that's in every field, right? Not just cybersecurity, but also AI, IT, all the different things. Again.
Yeah, you need an app, you need a website, you need marketing, all of those things involve tech, and we've got professionals that are available to work on those things.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of been fun for me because now I've worked on big teams and big projects, and it's like I've got some experience on those, and it's kind of cool to be able to build a team, work on projects, and have that happening here in Toledo, which
And I
It's
think
pretty
that
neat.
kind of goes into like what our vision is for the next 3 to 5 years is, we really want to continue to grow the community. And the point of creating this space and creating the community is it attracts other tech companies, which in return supports our local economic growth and builds up our city. Right now, our city is on a decline, and we have the infrastructure, we have the space, we have the real estate. There's a company that had an opportunity to create their location in San Francisco, and instead, for the same price of a small office, bought a whole block in Toledo and created a whole their own little community here. And what a great thing for our city that I don't think a lot of people even know that happened. We've heard of Ostrich Town, we've heard of what they're doing over there, but I don't think a lot of people know the background of that. And what a cool thing. And how do we create more opportunities like that? And we've had a
Well,
lot of conversations about that.
well,
And
one of the things that they struggle with is hiring local talent. And it's like that if that's a problem, you got a tech company that said, I want to plant my roots in Toledo because that's my hometown, but there's not the infrastructure for them to really survive. How are we going to get somebody that doesn't
yeah,
have that, like, I want to see Toledo succeed mentality?
right.
So if we don't build it, they won't come.
Well, and then we also have people in the area that have the talent and are working remote for companies,
Mm,
or they're leaving our city. And, they got a cool computer science engineering job at, or a degree at University of Toledo. And they're like looking around here and there's not much opportunity. So they go to another city, make double what they could here, and so we're losing out on opportunities here due to lack of
yeah,
opportunities in
well,
reality. So just
and if our youth, here's our, just to kind of interrupt, but our youth, if they don't see a pathway locally for that, they're going to go look for that pathway somewhere else.
or they just won't do that path.
Or they don't see it as a possibility,
Right.
right? So they don't see it a possibility, so they don't go for it. So then we just, what do? We manifest more of
The same.
the same. And then, or they see the possibility somewhere else, and so then they leave, and then we could get left with what? More of the same.
Right.
So if we've got to do something different if we want to create something different. We want to have our city thrive. We want all these things. Well, we have to have taxpayers, right?
Yeah.
We can't be a city on people just getting by.
Yeah.
And think that our city is going to thrive if we bring in these jobs that, and literal jobs, just over broke, right? So if we're just bringing in jobs, then that's not going to actually solve the problem. We need to upskill. We need to increase our revenue per household, right?